Hello, I'm Joe Barks. Welcome to another edition of The Road Ahead, brought to you by Club and Resort Business, Club and Resort Chef, and the Club and Resort Chef Association. Today's episode is sponsored by Miners, a Nestle Professional premium brand. Miners traces its roots to 1951, when Dr. L.J. Miner, a food scientist, created the first refrigerated meat-first food base. Today, Miners offers a wide range of chef-inspired and chef-friendly gourmet culinary products, including all-natural and gluten-free bases, signature flavor concentrates, classical reductions, and other ready-to-serve and eat sauces and gravies, including the new vegan Alfredo. Make it legendary and make it on budget when you make it with Miners. Learn more about Miners products and how it's the brand that's always trusted by chefs at minersfoodservice.com. Riverton Country Club in Cinnaminson, New Jersey, on the banks of the Delaware River across from Philadelphia, has a long and rich history dating back to 1900 and including an 18-hole golf course that was designed by Donald Ross in 1917. But the club hasn't relied totally on its history and tradition while continuing to stand out with distinction in a Philadelphia area market that features a number of well-respected clubs. With us today to share some of the exciting new developments and future plans at Riverton is the club's general manager, Joe Mendez. Joe, thank you for giving us a few minutes today.
Joe, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Joe, I know one of the most recent pieces of news to come out of Riverton was your hiring of a new executive chef, Michael Kim, after an intensive search process. Can you tell us a little bit about how and why you put so much emphasis on elevating the club's culinary experience through that search process and why Chef Kim stood out as such a great candidate?
Sure, Joe. So, we believe we offer an outstanding over-the-top golf experience, pool and tennis. And it was time to elevate the dining experience to the same level. We are 15 minutes from Center City, Philadelphia, where, as you can imagine, there are numerous top chefs and thousands of restaurants where members have lots of opportunities to choose where to dine. And we needed to bring ourselves into the next level to give them the reason to say, I'm not going to drive across the bridge and go into the city. I'm going to stay right here and come to the club to dine because the food there is better than I can get across the bridge. So that was the reason for looking to elevate the position and elevate the culinary experience at the club. We chose Chef Kim for a number of reasons, but what I can tell you, I think the greatest reason was it was obvious from the start that he was a heart-based leader, that he was a mentor and coach and teacher, and that he wanted to build an outstanding team. And he recognized that it wasn't about him, but it was about the entire group working together to make things better. And we believe that's what we needed here. He has fit into the Riverton family very quickly. And he will tell you that, coming from corporate world and casinos, the experience and the welcome that he's received when he came to a private club and joined our family has been over the top. And he and his wife can't be happier with their decision. That's
great. I did see you posted some videos about him, including one of a welcoming party. So he's really started to make an impact and create a buzz for your dining program.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a great welcome party with him a week ago. His third day or second day was men's member guest. So we threw him into the fire immediately. 5 days later, he had his own welcome party. And then 7 days later, last night, we did a Penfold wine dinner where he had a chance to shine. So he's jumped right in and members have noticed immediately. And there's an audible buzz in the dining room about the change in the food very quickly.
That's great. Well, Joe, you yourself came to Riverton just at the start of 2020 after previously being a general manager of other Philadelphia area clubs, including Germantown Cricket Club, Radley Run Country Club. What appealed to you about making the move to Riverton, and what opportunities did you see for bringing distinction to it in the Philadelphia market?
Yes, so Joe, I think there were a few things. One is I recognize that the club had a great golf facility and had an avid membership when it came to golf. The club needed a more overall facility, so a little more emphasis on pool and dining specifically, an opportunity to really grow the membership. We've been fortunate, as many clubs have, to see a boost in the last 12 months in terms of members. But what we've seen recently has been a really growth in our house, our non-golf membership. So we are very close to a wait list. And what I saw that potential. And I think being able to plan for a facilities master plan and do some other things, those were the things that I saw the club had the chance to do. And I was ready to kind of jump in and be a part of leading that transformation and bringing the club into the next century.
Well, after jumping in and just a few months later, you were quickly welcomed by the pandemic. How did you and your staff take on and make it through those challenges?
Yeah, for sure. It was different. I tell the story. I believe in some ways, being new to the organization, made it a little bit easier. I didn't have a lot of bias over what members would say yes or no to. And it made us a little more free to try as many crazy ideas and things as we thought might go over. And so the staff jumped in immediately with ideas. And, as all the great leaders and some great GMs I know around the country will tell you, I got out of the way and let them run and just supported them whenever I could to make sure they had the opportunity to be successful. We were fortunate. We wound up, just in the month of April last year, we were completely closed except for takeout. We actually did more a la carte takeout than we had done a la carte in-house 12 months earlier. So the members supported us. The team really pivoted quickly and has been inventive and creative ever since. And we're really excited with where we're headed.
That's great. And you mentioned the new facilities master plan. What's involved with that? How's it going to be developed and implemented? What's the timing going to be?
Sure. So we started with a strategic plan with GGA partners, and then we engaged KDC architects out of Atlanta who specializes in country club master planning. And we developed an overall facility plan. So we had a golf course master plan that we're just getting ready to finish. Starting in October, the last 7 holes will be done, restored totally back to the Donald Ross original design. So we're really excited about that. And we knew we needed to match the rest of facilities with the outstanding golf course we had. So we developed an overall plan for clubhouse, pool, tennis, the rackets facilities, bag storage, all of those things outside of the actual golf course. We're getting close to the finish line. We'll have some town halls in August and hopefully vote on a first phase implementation in September. I believe that what we'll see out of that is a significant pool renovation, basically a tear down of everything, including building, rip everything out, start from the ground up and rebuild an entire new pool complex, as well as moving our golf operation or pro shop operation out of the clubhouse over to our bag storage building closer to where the real golf stuff happens, and opening up that space for simulators and lounge and some other things. Looking to create a new kid/teen space in the clubhouse as well, as we've seen the families really grow. So, that's the first phase, and long term, it transforms our rackets facilities and everything else. But phase 1 is really all about pool, outdoor dining, so the patio gets blown up and really expanded and covered in many spaces, and changing the golf operation so that they all kind of are centralized in one space and giving the clubhouse back to more leisure activities.
Wow, that's quite a project. It's going to be a lot to take on for you and your team. And I'm curious, Joe, I know outside of your club management roles previously in your career, you've been an adjunct professor at Widener University's School of Hospitality Management, teaching a club management course. So how did that experience help you kind of gain a better understanding of the new generation of emerging managers and how to have them work effectively in the club environment with you, especially when you're taking on all this kind of new projects?
Yeah, Joe, was and has been really exciting for me. I'm fortunate to continue to guest speak at many other institutions whenever I have the opportunity. And I think being connected to the next generation of leaders in our industry really makes me a better leader. What I found was at the end of the day, we're all the same, and you just have to find why, what motivates people and tap into that. And so I think what that generation has proved to me is that they have a lot to bring to the table of things that I would never be able to think of myself. And it's really incumbent upon me to understand that. And as I said earlier, a little bit get out of the way and let them be creative and just kind of steer and guide and support and coach instead of trying to, direct.
Do you think post-pandemic, all the troubles that hotels and other hospitality segments have had, that there's some opportunities to get some better talent attracted to the club industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I've seen it already in some of the schools, and the club industry was fortunate to take on a whole lot of interns that lost their internships at places like Disney and Marriott and other big places that last, March had to, with no other choice, terminate their internship programs. They didn't have an opportunity, while clubs were thriving in the pandemic with golf going through the roof and dining and takeout really kind of continuing to go. We had the chance to show the future leaders and all the students in hospitality around the country that this is a more stable, better segment of the industry to work in. And I think they're seeing that, and the conversation is growing around the country in universities that maybe that club industry thing is something we ought to be looking at a little bit harder.
Did that also appeal to Chef Kim? Because he hadn't been in the club industry before, right?
It did. There were a few things that appealed. One of them was, in the corporate world, as you can imagine, in a large facility, he began to spend most of his time with a clipboard and kind of lost sight of his passion, which was cooking and providing people great food. And the opportunity to scale down size, but not too small, to be able to really be back in the kitchen and be creative and be hands-on and be in the trenches with all of his team. That's what appealed to him. And the opportunity to have some stability and not have to move around. He moved 8 times in 10 years, kind of opening up and fixing. They would kind of move him around the country to fix the next place. And he wanted to settle. His children are young, they're getting ready to start school, and he and his wife saw this as a great chance. The folks at David Myers, found them for us, and it was a really great opportunity.
Well, that's great, Joe. Sounds like you've got a great team together and quite a bit for everybody to do. So we really appreciate you sharing your insights and experience today. And it sounds like there's some really exciting times ahead at Riverton, and we'll look forward to hearing more about the successes that you have there. So thanks very much for your time today.
Thanks, Joe. Really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too, Joe. Once again, this has been The Road Ahead, brought to you by Club Resort Business, Club Resort Chef, and the Club Resort Chef Association. And today's episode was sponsored by Miners Food Service, a Nestle Professional premium brand. If you have a great idea or a success story you'd like to see featured on a future episode of The Road Ahead, please contact us at editor@clubandresortbusiness.com.